Episode 236. Today we're talking about some standouts in last night's matchup, the Stadium Series matchup between Detroit and Columbus. And it was a very back and forth game. You know what I really liked about Columbus throughout this game? They ended up winning and they deserved the win. They played so well throughout the back half of the second. They kind of slipped away a little bit in the third, but they were able to get back on track later on in the game. And what I really liked from Columbus is their effort and how they had a lot of their guys going, a lot of their lines going, especially their top line with Adam Fantilli and Dmitry Voronkov on one of the wings, and on the other wing it was Kirill Marchenko. Those three looked really good together. And obviously the two Russians together, they have tremendous chemistry. But outside of that, Adam Fantilli looked really good yesterday. And he was really noticeable. He's creating a lot around the net. He's active around the net. He was active getting to the net. He was a guy who's very reliable at being able to get back defensively, recover defensively, and then offensively be able to be engaged and be inside the offensive zone, make plays, create shots from coming down the flanks and stuff like that. So that Fantilli was really effective. He did a really great job yesterday of being able to create space for himself and his teammates and being able to drive the net. And he wasn't afraid. He plays with, there's no fear really in his game. And that's kind of how he plays. He plays with more of an assertiveness and a mentality where he's going to attack the net as often as he can. And he did a really great job of that yesterday. I thought he was really noticeable at doing that. And he was doing a great job of being able to create space and be active around the crease as much as he could. And with Fantilli, he's a guy that can play all situations. He's become more reliable defensively. And in the midst of the Sean Monahan injury, he's really been a guy who's stepped up as their first line center as of late. And it'll be interesting to see when Monahan comes back how that situation plays out with him. And but that line was just buzzing yesterday. I thought Denton Mateychuk was really good defensively as well. And a lot of their defensemen were steady and reliable. And Zach Werenski was steady. Then Matejchuk was steady. Ivan Provorov was steady. Like those guys were very steady and played reliable defensive hockey for the most part. And I thought they were doing a good job activating in the ozone when need be and just being active when needed defensively, being able to shut plays down, being able to use their sticks and being active with their sticks and stuff like that. And as for Detroit side, I think Patrick Kane and Alex DeBrincat, those two together were just dynamite. And it was interesting watching Patrick Kane in an outdoor game as this was his first outdoor game not in Chicago. And it was interesting seeing him play in a Red Wings uniform in an outdoor game for sure, but he played really well. I thought offensively more than defensively. Defensively, he had quite a bit of lapses, and sometimes it hurt him. But on the offensive side of the puck, he's really good at being able to maneuver, create space, being able to attack entries on an angle, being able to be reliable in puck support, being able to just be the Patrick Kane style player that he's been for such a long time. I think this stage in his career, he's not going to necessarily be relied upon as the sole guy on his team. And I think Detroit has other players who can do that now and do that heavy lifting, but he could still play a top six role. And you can even still play him in a third line role and he could still produce. So I think even with Patrick Kane, you're still getting a guy who brings the same level of flair and the same level of puck skill. It's just you're not gonna see the amount of point production that he would have in years past, I would say. But he's definitely still a productive player. Showed that yesterday and just was really doing a great job of being able to create offense. Same with DeBrincat. I thought DeBrincat was really active around the net, creating around the net, being able to get to the net and being able to time his routes at the net as well. So that allowed him to be able to get goal side positioning on the defenders and be able to create space there. And he was overall very effective at just being able to negate box outs from opponents and being able to drive inside of guys and being able to attack inside of guys and being able to really leverage that to the best of his ability was something that was really noticeable throughout this game. And then some other guys in Detroit outside of Kane and DeBrincat, Lucas Raymond looked really good in transition. I really noticed him there. Same with Dylan Larkin. I thought those two guys were dynamic attackers in transition, and they've gotten so much better. I would say Raymond more than Larkin has gotten so much better in transition and transitioning the puck with pace and weaving through traffic. And he's looked like a much more dynamic player at being able to attack space over time. And he has just been a really exciting player to watch this season and one of the most exciting players, young players to watch in the league by far. And As for some other guys, I thought Ben Sherratt was steady as well. Simon Edvinson looks steady defensively. Like Simon Edvinson, what I really like about him is how he's able to play a shutdown game in tandem with his offensive game. He's got a good skating ability. He's got a good reach. He's got a good foundation already at his size, and then the ability to play a two-way game, be steady in transition offensively, but also be able to use his stick defensively and shut plays down there. And he's a guy who I would imagine for a very long time could play a top four role in Detroit. And certainly an intriguing player, really exciting player to watch, and has a lot more potential over time for Detroit as well.